today, you all, is a day we're making our own fish fertilizer. I have already made some, but I wanted to show you how you can do this yourself. Very easy. You only need a couple of ingredients to do this. So let's get close up and let me show you what you need. Well, everyone, I wanted to share with you all the ingredients you will need. You will need fresh fish, whether you are a fisherman or not. It would be, it will be unexpensive to you because you go out and go fishing a lot. But whole fish or fish heads or fish guts is important no matter what you have. If you are a person who don't fish, you're gonna have to go to your fish market and ask the fishmonger when they fillet your fish to give you the heads and the guts. Okay, or you can go to your grocery store and look for whole frozen fish. You can even do sardines, but it's going to cost you. Okay, canned sardines, but you want to find you some fish. Second ingredient is molasses. Okay, you can blackstrap molasses unsulfured, and then you can also use brown sugar. But when you use brown sugar in this method, you're going to want to ferment it for several weeks in the fish in the container, whatnot, and let it ferment and sit out and stir it constantly for a couple of weeks. And then once it's broken down, you can use it and then dilute it, etc. that way. But this is another easy way to do this. Third ingredient you will need is your rainwater. Rainwater is number one to this ingredient. If you don't have rainwater, you want to use chloride water. But what you want to do is with that water is you want it to sit in the sun and kill all that chlorine and all those other chemicals that might be in the water so that you can use it. Okay, unfortunately you might have to do that if you don't collect rainwater. You can also use filtered water if you want. It's up to you. Okay, the equipment you will need is your food storage container. That is very important, whether it's a 5-gallon bucket or a 10-gallon food storage container or barrel, food storage barrel of a 20 barrel or 50 gallon barrel. It doesn't matter. It's up to you and the size of your garden or your permaculture garden or your food forest or your orchard or whatever you are growing in your garden. It will benefit you. It could benefit you. Now, I do want to mention to you also very important, you're going to need gloves. Okay, gloves is very important because you don't want to get this on your hands. It's stinky and you're going to pay for it later on. I have already made my fish fertilizer several months ago, but I'm making it again so that I can have enough in this 5-gallon container. And so let me show you how it looks right now. Now, this is how it looks in the container when it is not fully completely broken down, you all. Just let you all know there is still a fish head in there, but I wanted to show you how it looks. I added some to I call it my garden kettle here, and this is basically like a 17-gallon container here that I got, and I want to show you how clear it looks. Just how it looks is clear. You see that? So, and I'm saying this for a reason, you all, why it's clear. Because I added another ingredient to my fish fertilizer. And I'm being straight honest with y'all of what I did. Because some people will say, oh, they'll make up stuff. And I don't want y'all to be fooled. So what I have done after pouring my fish fertilizer in this recycled 1-gallon container, I went ahead and added, let me get it. I added seaweed extract, okay, to this. Now, the reason why I added seaweed extract, and I'm gonna be straightforward with you all, is because in some states in the United States of America, it's illegal to catch seaweed, okay, from the beach and harvest it. Is illegal. and it is a federal crime, and you can go to prison or get fined for it. So be very careful when you are collecting seaweed, because not every state or or country actually allow you to collect seaweed, harvest seaweed, and use it for your consumption, or use it in your garden, for example. And so that's the reason why I added to this container. Now, I might not have explained to you why I'm making my own fish fertilizer. Let me do that right quick. The reason why, because I feel like everything is going up in price, and I wanted to save some money by making my own fish fertilizer, and I know where it's coming from. And there's a difference between fish fertilizer and fish emulsion. All right, I'm gonna explain that to you in a few minutes. All right, you all. So now you can see my bucket is half empty. I do still have a fish head from previous in here, but I do want to forewarn you that this smells. So be very, very mindful of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in my fish, and I don't have my gloves on. Let me put my gloves on. And after I add my fish, now you want to fill it halfway, guys, of fish. You don't want to leave it like this. I'm gonna still be adding fish to our bucket here, but you want to fill it halfway, not full, but halfway. Is very, very important so that it can break down. The next ingredient is molasses. Okay, as much as molasses you can pour in here. Okay. And the second ingredient that you can add as a bonus, and this is the Jadam method, is adding leaf mold, broken down leaf mold, or you can use compost. I have seen other individuals do this before when using when not having any leaf mold. They use their compost. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some compost, and you can aerate this. You can get an air bubbler and do this if you want. So just to let you know, that will, make it easy. And you want to fill it all like halfway full. You want to fill it all the way to the top, almost about where this line is right here. You can fill it to right there, and then go ahead and mix it up. Okay, so I got to add a little bit more water to this, and then once I'm done, I will show you what it looks like. So everyone, it is the next day, and I want to show you how the fish fertilizer looks, and also explain to you what is fish emulsion, what is fish hydrocyte, and fermented fish. Everyone knows about fish emulsion. Fish emulsion is basically manufactured when you purchase from your store, your local, nursery, garden nurseries and whatnot. It's basically, or online, it's basically a heated process. Now, letting the fish breaking down, they heat it up and do all these adds, sometimes other ingredients to it. And then you also will see fish emulsion with kelp, and that's basically seaweed. Okay, and that's what we did here. Okay, as an example, but it's basically a heated process. There are people who have actually done this on their own without heating up, but with these ingredients, they added fish, whole fish, guts, whatever, and then they added sawdust with the molasses. Sawdust is like a great ingredient because it basically, supposedly and allegedly, because I have not done this, that's what I'm saying, alleged, not allow it to have an odor. When you open it up, it's supposed to not have really a smell to it, but some people who have actually done this says that it does have somewhat of a smell. Okay, now fish hydrocyte is basically taking your whole fish, place it in a blender with molasses and a little bit of rainwater, and you let it blend it up, add it to your 5-gallon container of choice or a barrel, and add more rainwater. And with this method, it's supposed to break down and be usable within 2 weeks. Okay, now there is a Jadam method. And with this method, you will add your whole fish with the bones, the heads, whatever you have, and then add your molasses and rainwater. Mix it up with the leaf mold and let it sit, okay, for several months. It takes several months for this process to break down. You can substitute like we did using compost. It doesn't matter if you got your own compost, chicken compost, or stir compost, stir manure compost, rabbit compost, a handful, scoop, and you pour it in there, and you do the same thing and wait for several months like we did with that batch, a little bit of that batch over there. I do want to say to you too, before I forget, that you will also see fish emulsion at your local garden nurseries that says fish emulsion with kelp. This is what we did here. We just added seaweed extract to it and made our own fish emulsion or fish fertilizer with seaweed extract. Okay, that's our little example earlier. But I also want to talk about the fish, fermented fish, where you're just taking brown sugar, your fish of choice, or a lot of fish, and you are mixing with brown sugar, let it ferment for a couple of weeks. As it ferments, it's gonna look black, like a black syrup, okay, like molasses almost. And you're gonna dilute it with some water and use it in your garden or for your house plants. Now, with any of these methods, you want to make sure you actually measure out your usage, because you don't want to burn the leaves or the roots of your plants, flowers, tree, or your trees. That's very dangerous, and you don't want that to happen. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was something that I wanted to do for a very long time for several reasons, not just for financial reason, but also this experiment and see how it works out. And also because I am excited about seeing how it works, because I know what I put into this ingredients, and I know it's considered organic in my garden. Okay, so with that being said, I thank you all for watching. Until next time, we will see you next one. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the share button, and subscribe, because once you are a subscriber, you are family.